Anonymous.
What's going on, YouTube, social media world? It's your boy AnonymousBased, and I'm biggity back, biggity back with a new reaction video. This time I'm here with something brand new from It's Complicated. But before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and give this video a like, share with a couple of your friends. Make sure you follow me on all my social media sites. And if you got something specific, go ahead and drop it in that comment section. So we are here with something brand new from It's Complicated. Shout out to you, brother. And the name of this video is called Are Men and Women Equal? All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, this one should be pretty good.
Do you believe in gender equality?
I do. I mean, I think it's great that we, consider each gender for
Here we
who
go.
they are and what they need.
Stop the cap.
I do think that maybe there are things that can be contributed differently from each gender, but I mean, I kind of think that's kind of dependent on the relationship you're in.
How can men and women be equal if we're not the same?
Well, we can be equal because we're all just humans on Earth, honestly. There's no really difference between, like, biological, like, differences in DNA.
Stop the cap.
What?
Think about this when they're trying to put like equality for men and
Damn, you're fine as hell.
No at all. I don't care, like, what everybody says. Yes, I know about the pay and everything, but it's just like we're totally different.
Okay.
I guess it depends in what way we think about it. Like if we're thinking about it in a loving relationship, I think making sure you think of each other as partners and equals can do that.
I believe in equality in a lot of ways, but I do think that men and women have different roles, maybe sometimes.
How can men and women be equal if we're not the same?
I think there should be equality in things like paying and being able
Here
to
we
have
go.
bank accounts.
Here we go with the
and things that we
nonsense.
didn't even have less than 50 years ago.
How can men and women be equal if coochie costs more money than dick?
Uh-oh.
That's an interesting...
How much should good car insurance cost you a month? $80? $120? Nope. Try $38.
It's an interesting one. I think that's one that has to do with, like, the way society has put coochie
Okay.
as something that has to be paid for and dick doesn't.
How likely will women pay for dick or make coochie free?
I think
Never.
they're more likely to make coochie something very expensive and dick free.
How can men and women be equal if we have double standards?
Double standards.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me not speak.
Yeah.
Double standards exist because I'm gonna get canceled.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's not have double standards.
We need to get rid of the double standards.
Can you think of any double standards that don't benefit women?
Uh-oh.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I don't know.
Double standards exist because of the people who believe they're more important than everybody else when it comes to their gender, their rights, etc. I feel like double standards should not exist. I don't know if I'm making sense, but they exist to a certain extent with certain people.
All right, this is a little more raunchy, but how can men and women be equal if coochie costs more money than dick?
Uh-huh.
Fuck nigga to the end, tell a friend,
That's
bitch.
a little. That's
Uh-huh.
actually.
Yep, you can't get around that.
Well, I mean, how likely will women pay for dick or make coochie free?
I don't think women pay for dick as much as men pay for women. So
Exactly.
So doesn't that
Men are
prove?
more desperate, that's why.
that does kind of prove a point.
What does equality look like?
All right, here we go. Guys, what do I always say about the septum piercings? Red flag, something wrong with them. Now, I'm going to give her a little bit of grace just to see what she's going to say, but more often than not, the ladies with the septum piercings come through with the nonsense. But she is a little pretty, so we're going to give her some grace.
To you.
What equality looks like to me is not looking down on another person based off something that they can't control.
Equality to me is like being 50-50, always both putting in hard work and dedication into a relationship.
Do women want to be equal or do women want to be special?
I think both.
Isn't that a contradiction?
I think they want to be both. They want to be special and equal.
When do women want equality and when do they want special treatment?
They want equality when it comes to, I would say, like work and pay wise, but special treatment, they want to be, you know, I want this, I want that, I want these rings, I want these clothes, I want you to buy this for me.
I want a man to take care of me. I want him to provide for me, but I will take care of him if he takes care of me as well.
It depends if you want to play the female role, the male role.
And she got a lot of makeup on.
You guys just want to be equal partners. I lean into my feminine energy, so I know what I'm best at, and I can do what I'm best at, and hopefully my man is doing what he's best at, and we come together, and it's perfect balance.
Why would women who used to be protected and provided for choose to work and pay taxes instead?
I think there's a power in self-sufficiency and independence, and I don't know, when I walk around and know that I can do whatever I want with whatever money I make or anything like that, there's a big power in that, and then it chooses.
Okay, so if you have all this power and freedom that comes with you working and paying taxes and, you know, having your own money and everything, then explain to the chat, how is it that no matter what a woman's age is, no matter how much money she makes, no matter how many degrees or how accomplished she is, she always wants a man to step in at some point and take over the financial responsibilities? It doesn't matter if she's 22, 34, 46. I mean, you got people like Vivica Fox, 60 years old, talking about, I want a provider. They already make their own money. You already living your life doing what you want to do. So then why do you still want a man to come in and play the traditional role? I don't get it.
People not to feel like they can decide what I do.
At the time, like I said, we didn't have bank accounts, we couldn't buy our own houses, so we want to be able to survive on our own. And now that we can survive on our own, now we have the option to be on our own, be independent women, or we can also have a traditional life with a man.
Why do women get to pick and choose any more than a man does?
Women pick and choose less. I want my man to tell me where I'm eating for dinner.
What does it mean when women say that men are supposed to lead, and how is that different than patriarchy?
Well, honestly, in the modern day, and I can speak this to my own relationship, like, I want to be an equal in my relationship, but as how men are brought up, I feel like being so motherly to a boy can make them not as self-sufficient. So when the next woman comes in as their partner, they're not feeling like they're equals anymore, because we still have to almost baby them because they're not like ready. So it's like when they take lead, it's almost showing like, it's for once I can maybe not make a decision, or I can be led into something where I don't have to give more thought than my partner.
Why do people believe that chivalry is dead and feminism killed it?
It did.
Oh.
It absolutely 100% did. Women push for too much of equality. I want a man's man. I want him to treat me like a man. I want equal opinions, but at the same time, I definitely want a man that can protect, hold doors open, do things for me. I want to be feminine. I don't want to be like a man. Some women do, and that's okay. Not my thing, but I do think feminism kind of ruined it for us.
Okay.
Do women want to be independent while also being provided for? And if so, who's more delusional in their wants?
Actually, yeah, that's probably pretty true. We're probably more delusional. We want equality, we want this, but we want a man to take care of us too. So, yeah, women are definitely, that's our problem.
How can chivalry and equality coexist?
I respect the honesty.
That's true. That is true.
Ah.
I believe in equality, not chivalry.
Why do people believe that chivalry is dead and feminism killed it?
I don't know. They shouldn't believe that. I think feminism lifts up women, and chivalry can go both ways.
Well, why doesn't it typically go both ways where, I mean, men are expected to approach women, ask them out, pick them up, pay for dates, make the first move. Why aren't women expected to do all those things as the standard?
We're stuck in traditional ways, and I think it's badass if women go up to men.
Yeah, but you're not doing it.
People have this idea about feminism right now. There's like a huge gender war, right? And they say feminism is pretty much hating men and not needing men. And really, feminism originally is wanting equality.
How did feminism go from being about equality to now it's about wanting equity?
Maybe not feeling equal feels like something's taken from them, so you're always going to grab for more if you feel like there's something diminished or lacking in your life.
Do feminists believe in equality even when it doesn't benefit them?
Feminists?
Nope.
Probably not.
Ah.
The only reason I'm not sure about that is just because I don't know if I'm 100% feminist, but if feminists do want equality, then they can't have it all about themselves.
There you go.
If you were at the top of a hierarchy, would you still want
She
equality
making sense.
even if it was a step down for you?
Is this in a relationship or is this in any regard?
How do you interpret that?
Well, if it was a relationship, yeah. If I'm take right now my relationship, if I'm at the top, then I feel like he's not going to lead, which means all power and decisions come on me. It's exhausting.
Oh!
If I was at my job, if I felt like I did my job really well and I was above, I don't believe in equality there, because if I'm the best person to do the job, then I believe I should be the one leading the position.
Do you believe in 50-50 relationships or traditional roles, and why?
I believe in 50-50.
How can relationships ever be 50-50 if the man is always the one who's expected to sacrifice himself for the woman and serve her with chivalry?
That wouldn't be 50-50.
Ah.
I think traditionally men are expected to give more, but in a healthy relationship, whoever is able to gives more than the other.
If we accept that premise, wouldn't that inequality manifest itself in all of our laws and institutions?
Yes, it would, and that's not true.
Okay then.
See that happen?
In the government, and in our societal expectations for each other.
Especially in the family courts, right?
Yes, sir.
I know my man doesn't do that because we're 50-50 in our relationship, but I know in other relationships, they're expecting a certain type of man to provide for them, but also like what's theirs is ours and what's ours is ours as well. And that doesn't make sense to me.
What are your thoughts on the expression happy wife, happy life? Why not happy spouse, happy house? Isn't that more of an equal arrangement?
It is equal, but I think when the wife is happy, everything runs more smoothly, because
Stop the cap.
when the wife
Nope.
is happy, it's just like a happier lifestyle.
No.
If I'm happy, we're all going to be happy, because if I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to make it known that I'm in a bad mood, and everybody is not going to have a good time. But if I'm good, then we're all going to be good, and it's going to be great.
If your wife is happy, she's going to treat you like a king all the time, because you
Stop the
treat her
cap.
like a queen. She's going to do the same to you.
See, you know what's funny is when he's asking, does happy wife, happy life mean that it's going to be, a good, steady flowing relationship? These women are agreeing and saying, oh, yeah, if the woman's happy, everything's just going to flow smooth. Well, if that's the case, how come none of the women that agree with that have wedding rings on? So how would they be able to speak to that when they themselves are not wives that are happy in a steady flowing marriage?
Stop the cap.
Happy wife, happy life, that's a pretty traditional term. Honestly, our parents believe in it, but not so much these days.
Why not happy spouse, happy house? Isn't that more of an equal arrangement?
It is, but it depends. Like, are both putting in that same effort for both to be happy?
Why not happy spouse, happy house? Isn't that more of an equal arrangement?
I think that's just as true.
So why don't we have that expression?
I would say because men, what they do is more tangible.
Oh.
Men are protectors and providers. You can see that. It's more physical. What women do is more esoteric and spiritual and emotional and supportive.
We can do all that too.
So, if you know a good woman, you know what a good woman can do for your life.
Why do you think women want equality in everything except for dating?
Women want to be superior. They want to be the one above. They always want to know that they are better than another.
So why do women say they want equality when they actually want superiority?
They want equality when they want men to understand their feelings. They want men to know that they are also capable of emotions.
Why do women get to pick and choose any more than a man does?
Because women have high expectations. They want everything to happen for a reason, and they think that if it doesn't, then it's not meant to be.
I want a man want a man in the bedroom, but I want equality and respect for my, just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but you definitely have to respect it.
Do feminists believe in equality even when it doesn't benefit them?
No.
I don't really think so.
No, they don't.
Could you give me an example of what you mean?
Oh, here we go. We have another septum piercing on the loose, and what do I always tell you guys about the septum piercings? Red flag, something wrong with them. Now, her, I hate to be the one to really pass judgment, but she look like she kind of crazy. She kind of looks like she's a little crazy, a little cuckoo. But we're gonna give her some grace and see what she says.
There might be certain responsibilities that women don't want to take on because maybe it's a masculine role or something like
Let's say, for example, being drafted into war.
that. Yeah.
So this is one of the situations where gender equality comes into play, because there are certain situations which you don't want to be equal across the board.
Oh!
Because there are some certain situations areas where men are just going to be more for that role. So there's no reason to enlist all women into
So
the
there
military.
really is no equality then.
Even though Israel already does that and they're doing great, so maybe we should learn from them as well. Why not?
Which of the following is worse? Feminists who only want equality when it benefits them, or religious conservatives who don't believe in equality at all?
I think probably the first one, because at least the religious people expect it, versus feminists, they want it their way, but they also want equality.
That makes
Why
sense.
are men still expected to provide for women who can provide for themselves and are celebrated for it?
That's a really interesting
That's what I said.
expectation of that, because most of the men I meet now, even though it's expected that people can do 50-50 in the relationship and women can work and contribute to the relationship, most men now feel like it's their duty to provide, and it makes them feel lacking when they can't.
Isn't telling men that it's their masculine duty to protect and provide for women really just telling men to place women on a pedestal above themselves?
I think, yeah, in a way it is. Definitely.
Well, is that equality?
No.
No, I don't think so. I think sometimes girls just like to be spoiled.
Wouldn't men like to be spoiled by women?
Yes, and women should spoil their men as well.
So then why aren't women expected to protect and provide for men?
They can do that too.
But why is that not typically the standard expected the way it is for men to do that for women?
I don't know. It should be. We should all support each other.
I
don't know.
I mean, honestly, take a look at everything we do. If there's a fire, they say women and children first. So, I mean, if we can also get rid of that, that can be helpful towards that. But, I mean, it can be putting them on a pedestal. But, again, it also comes from, like, that internal teaching and teaching from a young age of men if they need to be the provider. And if we don't put it that way and we show that everyone can be either the stay-at-home mom or the stay-at-home dad, or, you know, someone can provide more for the partnership with still being an equal and have a say, then I think we can move forward in a better way.
Do you believe in the God, man, woman, child hierarchy? And if so, should everyone be held to that standard when we're trying to promote gender equality?
You know what? So I think that I myself believe in God and believe that he's my higher power, but I think that that's why there's different religions, different gods, different things to believe in, because I think there has to be something for everybody. That's my opinion, and I feel that
I
you
can
can
agree
believe
with
in what
that.
you want, and I'm going to respect you 100%, and I can believe in what I want,
Right.
and you should respect me. No judgment.
Wasn't religion the original patriarchal system?
Yeah, you got that one.
So then why are women blaming all men for patriarchy when it's really religious people who are pushing that?
You know, that's kind of religious people and feminisms and everybody else, so I can't necessarily just blame women on that one. I mean, it's religious and women. I'm sorry, feminists, but I got to give you that one.
Okay. All right. Okay. Shout out to It's Complicated for coming through with the fire video called Are Men and Women Equal? All right, man. So first impressions of me watching this one was a really great video. I really like the way he interviewed the women. and one thing I did notice is that this was all women. Now, one thing I really liked about it is that you had women that kind of have different ideologies, but they were able to come together and have a good, productive discourse, even if they disagree. And that's the type of stuff I like. I like to hear women's opinions on things just to kind of see where their logic stems from, and it kind of gives me a little bit of insight into their upbringing and stuff like that too. So even if I don't necessarily agree with them, I still want to be able to hear them out and just kind of see what they think and how they come up to with their conclusions and how they frame their arguments. I mean, there was quite a bit of cap going on. I ain't gonna lie, because on one hand, they want to be strong and independent, but then they want to be equal at the same time, and then at the same time, they still expect the traditional benefits from the man. So overall, it was great conversation, great discourse. I mean, there was some cap going on. You had a couple of septum piercings running wild, but overall, it was an excellent video, great conversation. And this is the type of stuff that we need to be having in the community to push things forward. But overall, great video. I got to give one more shout out to It's Complicated. And that's pretty much my reaction, man. So if you like the video, go ahead and give this video a like. Share with a couple of your friends. Make sure you follow me on all my social media sites. And if you got something specific, go ahead and drop it in that comment section, man. It's your boy AnonymousBased. Peace. Hi.